Arnold? The music is ended, Major.
I wish you'd call me Steve, Emmy.
You fell asleep.
That's true, Emmy, I did.
It is very difficult for me to understand how you could fall asleep during Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
Then I'll explain, Emmy. I fell asleep during Beethoven's Fifth Symphony because Beethoven's Fifth Symphony bores me shitless.
You are joking again. Are you joking? I think you are always joking when you are being coarse.
No, Amy, I am never joking when I'm being coarse.
I do not like it when you are coarse.
Then you must be having a really bad time of it, Emmy.
You must listen to Beethoven carefully. My favorite is the Eighth Symphony, but you should listen especially to the Ninth. Beethoven wrote it in his last years. It is one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever written. You should listen to it, Major.
Is it as long as number 5, or as he got older, did he write shorter?
Yes, you are joking, but you must listen to it. That is why I brought these recordings so that you would know with whom you're dealing.
I already know with whom I am dealing, Emmy. I knew another band leader once, name of Dix Dixon, small time, alto sax. Not bad. Not good, but not bad either. Used to play one-night stands in Michigan and Illinois. A house he owned where he and his band members stayed burned down. They lost everything. Well, almost everything, but I got him. You know how? Because there's always one question the guilty can't answer. Get a sign writer, Emmy, write it big. There's always one question the guilty can't answer. In Dix's case, it was, how come, Dix, everybody lost everything except you? You got your sax, you got your clothes, how come? He couldn't answer. He was dumb. Oh, boy, was he dumb. He owed the bookies. You understand, don't you, Emmy? He burned down his own house for the insurance money. We used to call that Jewish lightning. So, how many people I gotta see before the band leaders do?
Just one. Helmut Roda, second violinist, 1935 to the present. Also, you have a request from Wiesbaden that you see a Mrs. Tamara Sachs. I spoke with her on the telephone. She will be arriving at 2 o'clock.
Anything from Wiesbaden's gotta be bad news. What does this Mrs. Sachs want?
I don't know. She wouldn't say. Oh, and Major, a moment ago a young officer stepped in. He saw that you were asleep, and then he left.
Who was he?
I don't know. I've never seen him before. You have 2 other messages. Captain Vernayn may visit later. Colonel Volkov will not be attending.
Well, that's a relief. Nothing from the British?
No.
Huh. So where's this young officer now?
I don't know. He came and went.
Well, go get him, will you, Emmy?
Lieutenant Wills reporting to Major Arnold, sir.
Oh, Christ's sakes, I hate that shit. Cut it out. My name's Steve. Who are you?
David. David Wills.
So, who are you? What are you doing here?
I've taken over for Captain Greenwood. I'm your liaison officer with Allied Intelligence.
What happened to Hank?
Captain Greenwood was sent to Nuremberg. It seems they needed more interpreters at the trial.
So you're dealing with the British now?
Yes, sir.
You call me sir again, I'll make you listen to Beethoven. You seen that limey major yet? The one who talks like he's got ice cubes in his mouth? I can't tell if he's talking German or English. What's his name?
Major Richards?
Yeah, Alan Richards.
I spoke to Major Richards this morning, but he had to rush off to an urgent meeting.
Urgent meeting, yeah. The Hinkle Archive.
Yes.
And do you know what's in the Hinkle Archive? And if it turns out to be important, you think the British are going to share it with their allies?
He said he'd call to let you know. He also said he was disappointed. He wanted to be here today, especially today.
We recruiting children now?
I guess so.
Where are you from?
I was born here. Not in Berlin, in Hamburg. I escaped in 1934 when I was 12. My parents sent me to live with my uncle in Philadelphia. They were to follow, but they delayed and delayed. They did not follow. My family name is Vile, but that doesn't sound well in English, so my uncle changed it to Wills.
Hear that, Emmy? David was born right here in Hamburg.
Yes, I heard.
I'm sorry about your parents. Oh, this is Emmy Straube. She records the interviews for me. She's been with me a week. She's a good German, aren't you, Emmy? Her father was in the plot against Adolf. Well, what kind of investigating officer are you, David? You should have asked a question. You should have asked, how do we know she didn't report her father for being in the plot against Adolf? Isn't that what he should have asked Emmy? Emmy's okay. We checked her out. You're okay, aren't you, Emmy?
Shall I see if Mr. Rhoda is here? It is after 9.
When I say so, Emmy, when I say. I like to keep them waiting, makes them sweat, which is a kindness in this weather, wouldn't you say?
I expect Mr. Rhoda is here, Major.
She won't call me Steve, David. She is so correct. And she likes books and poetry, and she's just crazy for Beethoven, aren't you, Emmy? You like Beethoven?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you looked kind of funny when I threatened you with the old bastard. And I suppose you admire musicians.
Some.
Don't.
Don't what?
This is like a criminal investigation, David. Musicians, morticians, doctors, lawyers, butchers, clerks, they're all the same. I saw Bergen-Belsen 2 days after it was liberated. I know what I'm talking about. I've seen things with these eyes. You know what I'm talking about, David?
Yes.
Think of your parents. Don't think of musicians. We're after the big guy here, the band leader. That's the one we're gonna nail. You know what I call him, David? I call him a piece of shit. I call them all pieces of shit.
Captain Greenwood said hard evidence against him was difficult to come by.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that after we get through with this guy, Rhoda. Here's how it works. This is my show. I ask the questions. You want to ask a question, you raise a finger so he can't see. I'll signal yay or nay. Understood?
Yes.
I'll explain my technique. First, I tell the shitheads why they're here. Then I only ever ask 2 questions. First, anything that comes to mind. How you feeling today? You getting enough to eat? You need cigarettes? Anything real friendly. Then I say, I see here in your file you were never a member of the party. Oh, absolutely not. I was never a member of the party. And then I wait. I say nothing. I wait. And then they talk. Oh boy, do they talk. And they'll tell you what a great guy the band leader was, how he defied Adolf and Joseph and Herman. Oh, and they always get in the baton story.
What's the baton story?
How many have I interviewed now, Emmy?
28.
28. And this guy,
Helmut Rhoda.
Rhoda, will be number 29. You'll hear the baton story for the first time. I get to hear it for the 29th. Oh, and they always manage to find out Emmy's last name. Straube, they say. Any relation to Joachim Straube? My father, she says. Oh, a great man, a great hero. See, David, what they're trying to do is cover the band leader in roses so they come up smelling just as sweet. But it's difficult to smell sweet after you've crawled through raw sewage. I was in insurance before the war. A claims assessor. What were you in?
College.
And after this is all over?
I'd like to teach history.
History, huh? You need a good memory for history. All those dates and battles. You got a good memory?
Not bad.
Me? I've got a terrific memory. I have been examined by psychologists. Just for my memory. I've got what they call total recall. I remember everything. It's a curse. Yeah, a curse, believe me. But I'm bad with names. It's what the shrinks call selective. So to tell you the truth, my recall's not total, but it's pretty damn good. Yeah, insurance. I was trained by a guy called Lou O'Donnell, kind of a Jimmy Cagney type. Smart, pushy, persistent. Oh boy, was that guy persistent. He taught me to look for what he called repetitive evidence, because 99 times out of 100, it signals a conspiracy to defraud. You think a whole orchestra, what, 120 or so guys could be orchestrated?
I don't know. I guess it's possible.
Yeah, me too. I guess it's possible. Okay, Emmy, let's bring this guy Rhoda in. You sit there. Remember, this is my show, the 2 questions, then we wait. You'll see.
Mr. Helmut Rhoda.
Sit down, Helmut. I want you to understand why you're here. This is a preliminary investigation into Wilhelm Furtwängler, former Prussian Privy Councillor, who's automatically banned from public life under Control Council Directive Number 24. We're looking into his case before he appears before the Tribunal of Artists of the Denazification Commission. We're interested in what he was up to from 1933 to the present. Understood?
Yes.
I've got your questionnaire here. Helmut Alfred Roda, second violinist, Berlin Philharmonic, 1935 to the present. What's that mean, second violinist?
It means I wasn't good enough to be a first violinist. Mind you, you have to be pretty good just to be a second violinist in the Berlin Philharmonic, even though I say so myself.
And according to your questionnaire, you were never a member of the party.
Me? Never. Never! I hated them! Believe me, please. I know everyone now says they were never Nazis, but in my case, it is absolutely 100% true. I am a Catholic, a convert. It would have been totally against my conscience. It's difficult to explain what it was like. Terror. That's what you felt from morning until night. Even in sleep, you felt terror. In the early days, of course, we were much more open in opposition. I'm talking about 33, 34. When I think on the things I said, I shudder. My God, I used to tell jokes, anti-Hitler jokes. I was well known for my anti-Hitler jokes. For example, this one. It was very famous around 33, 34. A couple of old Jews, okay? One says to the other, I have 2 bits of news for you. One good and one bad. Tell me the good news first. Hitler is dead. And the bad news? It isn't true. Well, that's the sort of joke I used to tell. You want to know about Dr. Furtwängler? This man is without doubt one of the most courageous people it has been my honor to know. We all acknowledge he is a god among musicians. In my humble second violinist opinion, the greatest conductor alive. True, I have not played under Arturo Toscanini, but I've heard his recordings when the emotion is not the same. Toscanini is a metronome. Dr. Furtwängler is an artist. No, Wilhelm Furtwängler is unquestionably a genius without equal. Is it true you are going to interview him today? Berlin is so full of rumors. I heard, well, you hear many things. If rumors were edible, we'd all be well fed, huh? If I may say so, I hope you see to it he is properly guarded. There are so many crazy people about. He gave comfort in terrible times. What man can do more? Here are some things that may interest you. On a famous occasion, I think it was the Second Winter Assistance Charity Program, an all-Beethoven concert. This was in 35. It was suddenly announced that Hitler himself was going to attend. Well, you can imagine, the maestro was outraged. You know how angry he was? He ripped the wooden cover off the radiator in his dressing room. That's how angry he was. Because what could he do? He couldn't tell Hitler not to attend. You see, the problem was the Nazi salute. He absolutely refused to give it. Now this I heard him say with my own ears. I heard him say, I don't have to acknowledge him at all. Over and over again I heard him say this. But how could he avoid giving the devil's salute with Satan actually present in the audience? You know who came up with a solution? I said, Maestro, why not enter with the baton in your right hand? Hitler will be sitting in the front row. If you give the salute with the baton in your hand, it will look as if you were going to poke his eyes out. He was very grateful to me for that suggestion. So he came onto the podium with the baton in his right hand so he wouldn't have to give the salute. He just bowed quickly, turned immediately to us, and even while the audience was still applauding, gave the signal to begin. After that concert, I did something disreputable. I stole that baton. As a memento of a great act of courage. I still have it. I should have brought it to show you. Mind you, it was always a joke in the orchestra, the maestro's baton. Or he has a very eccentric technique. He waves, and he sways, and he jiggles. God knows when you're meant to come in. As a musician used to ask us, how do you know when to begin the first chord of the Heroica? When his baton reaches a third step, we should, we'd say. Or how do you know when to start the semiquavers at the beginning of the night? We tell them, the moment the maestro enters, we all walk around our chairs 3 times, sit down, count to 10, and play. Or when we lose patience. And yet, he can produce musical sounds like no other human being alive. I hope I am not going too fast for you, Fräulein.
Strava.
Strava? Any relation to Colonel Joachim Strava?
My father?
I am deeply honored to be in your presence, Fräulein Strava. Your father was a true patriot, a man of God. Requiescat in pace. No, I want to say categorically that Wilhelm Furtwängler did not serve the regime. None of us who were members of his orchestra served the regime. Forgive me if I make a philosophical observation, but Wilhelm Furtwängler is a symbol to the entire world of all that is great in culture and music. And the Nazis needed him. They needed him to make themselves respectable.
You got a question for Helmut, David?
Yes. There's a photograph, isn't there, Mr. Roda, of Dr. Furtwängler shaking hands with Hitler. How do you explain that?
But that's the concert I was talking about, the old Beethoven program, when he entered with the baton in his right hand to avoid giving the salute. As I said, Hitler was sitting in the front row. After the concert ended, he suddenly stood up, walked to the platform, and offered the maestro his hand. And the maestro took it. You know, what else could he do? There's all there was to it. I was there, I witnessed it. It probably was a calculated act, not spontaneous at all, because they wanted the maestro on their side. Of course they did. And so they had photographers there. And, you know, what else could he do? He simply had to shake Satan's hands. That's all there is to it. And he did not conduct a maestro singer at the Party Congress in Nuremberg in 1935. He played it the evening before the Congress. The music was kept quite separate from the politics. That is the maestro's creed. Politics and art must be kept separate. Well, the same is true of the Devil's Birthday. It was held the evening before, 19th April, not the 20th. And the maestro was tricked into it. Usually when they wanted him to conduct on such occasions, he'd managed to have his doctors diagnose spondylitis. It's an inflammation of the vertebrae in the back of the neck, common in conductors and very, very painful. But for Satan's birthday in 1942, Goebbels went to the doctors first, and that was that. And don't forget, please, the maestro had to flee to Switzerland only last year, just before the war ended, because he learned that the Gestapo were about to arrest him. This is an honest, good man we are talking about, and the greatest conductor alive.
Mr. Roda, you only joined the Philharmonic in 1935. Where were you before that?
I was a member of another orchestra in Mannheim. But in 1935, several vacancies arose in Berlin. I auditioned. Yes, but on the other hand, Dr. Furtwängler personally was very good to Jews. He helped a lot of Jews escape, Jews who were no longer allowed to be members of the orchestra, so he fought to retain them as long as he could. His secretary, Bertha Geismar, was a Jewess. He relied so much on her. Why, in the end, he had to help her escape too. She is now, I believe, in England, secretary to Sir Thomas Beecham. He too is a conductor, so he is not Dr. Furtwängler.
Helga, do you know Hans Hinkel?
Do I know Hans Hinkel?
That's what I asked.
Do I know Hans Hinkel?
Well, you seem to understand the question. How about answering it?
How could I know such a man? Hans Hinkel was in the Ministry of Culture. How could I know such a man? I hear he keeps his archive. Files, records. Do you know if it's in the archive, Major?
I was just going to ask you that, Helmut.
Me? How do I know what's in the archive? All I've heard is there are letters from people swearing loyalty to the regime. That's all I know. My personal, second violinist opinion is, for what it's worth, is that Hinkel was no more than a low-level functionary. This archive won't have anything of interest.
Okay, Helmut, you can go.
That's it?
Get out, Helmut.
Maestro!
He is here, Major!
Sit down, Emmy. We're going to keep him waiting, too. So, David, now you know the baton story.
Yes, but Captain Greenwood is correct. Hard evidence is difficult to come by.
Get us some coffee, will you, Emmy? And Emmy, don't offer any to the leader of the band. Don't even greet him, okay? Jesus Christ. When are they going to fix the central heating in here? My scrotum feels like a shriveled prune. Probably looks like one, too. Let me tell you something, David. The evidence, hard or soft, doesn't matter, because I've got the one question he's going to find it impossible to answer.
There is a woman attacking Dr. Furtwängler! This is an outrage! I have to see who is in charge here! Are you in charge here? Have you any idea who is sitting out there? Wilhelm Furtwängler is sitting out there! No, you're crazy! You're all crazy! You don't know what you're doing here! Hey, you can't do this! You can't do this! I'm sorry. I am sorry. When I saw him, I lost all control. Everything just went out of my mind. I am sorry.
Why don't you sit down? We'll call a medic in here.
No. I have to talk to you. Are you in charge?
Who are you?
My name is Tamara Zaks.
Isn't she the one I'm seeing it to?
Yes.
Sit down, Miss Sachs.
Mrs. Zaks.
Emmy, get her a glass of water.
I have something of importance to tell you about the Wilhelm Furtwängler.
Okay. Emmy, get us all some coffee.
Please sit down, Mrs. Sachs.
I told them about it in Wiesbaden. They said I must tell you. Then I heard you were interviewing him today. I have material evidence to give.
Okay, but just wait for my secretary to come back so she can take a record.
You see, I am trying to find some proof that my husband, Walter Zaks, existed. Dr. Furtwängler may be able to provide that proof. I've been waiting since the early hours. Then when I actually saw him, could he come in, please?
No, he can't come in.
Was your husband a friend of his?
Oh, no, my husband, Walter Zaks, was the most promising young pianist of his generation.
Were they colleagues, perhaps?
No, that is just the point. Dr. Furtwängler spoke to me. Wants to know how long he's to be kept waiting.
Emmy, put the coffee down. Then go out and tell him in these words. These exact words, mind you, tell him, you will wait until Major Arnold is ready to see you, or until hell freezes over, whichever takes longer. You got that, Emmy? And don't say anything else to him.
Well, can't he come in?
Go on, Emmy. And come back and take notes. I'll take care of the coffee. Tamara, how do you like your coffee?
Is there cream and sugar?
There is in the American zone. Okay, Tamara. Let's hear what you have to say. David, you handled this. You and Tamara seem to have a certain rapport. I'll just sit here and listen.
Whatever you have to say, Mrs. Ox, will be treated as confidential.
Oh, but I don't want it treated as confidential. I want the world to know.
When I asked you if Dr. Furtwängler and your husband were colleagues, you said, no, that's just the point. What did you mean exactly?
I can't remember what I wanted to say now. This is all gone out of my mind, but I know I brought a list here. See, I just can't remember why I brought this list.
Perhaps it would help if I asked you questions.
I think that Dr. Furtwängler is the only man who can provide me proof that my husband, Walter Zotz, existed!
And how could he do that?
I've not been well. For some years now, I've not been well. After they took Walter, we were in Paris at the time. I returned here to be near my mother. My father is with the Army of Occupation in Denmark. I shall be 33 next birthday. Look what's happening to my hair! I want to return to France, but the French authorities are not helpful. I want to die in Paris. It was the only place we were happy.
Listen, just tell us where you're staying. I'll have
I
a
was
doctor
a
send over
philosophy
to you.
student in 1932 at the university here in Berlin. I was taken to a recital at a private house to hear a young pianist. The home belonged to Dr. Mire Samuel, a famous piano teacher of the time, and the young pianist was Walter Zotz, age 17. He was a year younger than me. I fell in love with him just listening to him play. Oh, he was beautiful. We were married. He was a Jew. I am not. My maiden name was Mueller.
Just tell us how Dr. Furtwängler
Oh,
figures
this is
out.
an outrage what you are doing, you know?
What are we doing?
You are behaving like them.
What happened to your husband, Mrs. Ox?
He died in Auschwitz. That is in Poland. I don't know the exact date.
And Dr. Furtwängler?
But we were tipped off that my husband was to be arrested within the week. We had no money and no influence, so we went rushing round to Mire Samuel. We asked if she could help. She said she would see what she could do. That evening we received a message. We had such and such an address at midnight. It was an old cellar, you know, a nightclub, but closed down. We were terrified. We knocked. Dr. Samuel opened the door and admitted us. There was only one other person there. This is Wilhelm Furtwängler, she said. He will listen to you play. There was this old upright piano. It was a Bechstein. I was so out of tune, but Walter, he sat down and he played no more than 3 minutes of the Waldstein Sonata. Dr. Furtwängler suddenly stood up and he said, I will try to help. Then he left quickly. The very next day, we received an official permit to leave. We took the train to Paris. And we were happy. Walter began to make a name for himself. Then, June 1940, they took Walter away. I am not Jewish. My maiden name was Mueller. I remember now this list that I brought you. I just remembered why I brought it, you see? These are some of the other people that he helped. Look, Jews and non-Jews he helped. See, Ludwig Mies and Felix Leder, Josef Krebs, Arnold Schoenberg. Dozens and dozens of people he helped. He helped Walter Zoggs, my husband, undoubtedly the finest pianist of his generation. I'll find out more. I'll write letters and I'll give evidence because I know what you want to do. You want to destroy him, isn't that true? You want to burn him at the stake.
We just want to find out the truth.
How can you do that as there is no such thing? Whose truth, huh? The victors? Was the vanquished? Was the victims? Is it dead? Whose truth? No. You have only one duty, and that is to determine who is good and who is evil, and thus all there is to it. But to destroy one good man now is to make the future impossible. Don't behave like them, please. I know what I am talking about. The good are few and far between. We must honor the good, especially if they are few, like Dr. Furtwängler, and the children of the good, like Fraulein Straube.
Gee, Emmy, you're really famous in this city.
I want to see him. Please, I want to know if he remembers Walter. I want to know if he remembers that night that Walter played the opening of the Waldstein Sonata on an out-of-tune upright and Bechstein piano in a Berlin cellar, please!
Not today, Tamara. We have to talk to your benefactor first, you see?
You are going to set fire to him, aren't you?
Come on, Tamara. I'm only an investigating officer. I don't have the power to set fire to anybody, even if I wanted to, which I don't. Believe me. Now, here's what we're going to do. Miss Straube will take you out the back way. Sergeant Benelli can find her transport to anywhere she wants to go. Anywhere. Here. This is my phone number. I want you to call me if you need anything. Anything at all. Food, medicine, cigarettes, anything. How does that sound?
It sounds as if you are going to burn him.
Emmy, take her out of that.
Oh, but you like this list here. I have a copy.
You keep the list, Tamara, and the copy. But thanks a lot. Jesus Christ, we are going to nail him. We are going to nail him good and proper. You don't see it, do you?
No. I don't see how a list of people he's supposed to have helped.
David, let me tell you something. A month ago, I was in Vienna. I had with me a Viennese driver. Max, his name was. He had done time in France. As we were driving through the city, we saw all these Viennese scavenging for rotting food, cleaning up the bomb damage, looking for cigarette butts, anything. And I said to Max, just think, 1 million of these people came out to greet Adolf on the day that he entered the city, and now look at him. Oh, not these people, he says. These people were all at home hiding Jews in the attic. You get my point, David? The point is, they're all full of shit.
With all due respect, Major, I think Dr. Furtwängler is in a different category. He may just be the greatest conductor.
I'm going to tell you another story, David. Before I got this assignment, I was interrogating prisoners of war at Ike's headquarters. One day they came to me and they said, Steve, you ever heard of Wilhelm Furtwängler? No, I said, well, how about Toscanini? You heard of him? Oh, yeah, I heard of him. How about Stokowski? I said, yeah, I've heard of him. He's an old guy, white hair. Looks like Harpo Marx's grandpa. They laughed. They said, well, Steve, he may be a little bit more than that. In this neck of the woods, he's like Betty Grable and Harpo Marx, Bob Hope, all rolled into one. Gee, I said, and I never heard of him? You know what they said next? They said, Steve, that's why you get the job.
Who's they, Major?
Who's they what?
Who's the they that sent you? Who's the they that gave you this assignment?
There is no the they, David. I was just doing my job. And always remember, we are dealing with degenerates here. That's all you gotta remember. I've seen things with these eyes.
Major,
Steve, come on, please.
don't try and act like I'm not on your side.
I do that, David, because I'm not yet sure which side you're on.
I think that's insulting.
Tough. Hank Greenwood gave me the same feeling. He was interested in evidence, facts, justice. I'm interested in nailing the bastard. Sergeant Benelli, find her some transport?
Yes.
Okay. Go get him, Emmy. Same rules of engagement. I ask the 2 questions, then we wait. Sit over there. Oh boy, I have been looking forward to this.
Dr. Wilhelm Furtwängler.
Wilhelm, I didn't hear anybody invite you to sit down. Sit there. I'm Steve Arnold. This is David Wills. I want you to understand why you're here. You're automatically banned from public life under Control Council Directive number 24. We're looking into your case before you appear before the Tribunal of Artists of the Denazification Commission. Understood?
But I have already been cleared by a denazification tribunal in Austria.
What they do in Austria doesn't interest me one little bit, okay? I have your questionnaire here. Gustav Heinrich Ernst Martin Wilhelm Furtwängler. Born Berlin, January 1886. Orchestral conductor. And it says here, you were never a member of the party.
That is correct.
Jesus Christ. Aren't you going to tell us about carrying the baton in your right hand so you didn't have to salute and poke Adolf's eyes out? And aren't you going to tell us about being a Prussian privy councillor? How did that happen to a non-party member?
I received a telegram from Hermann Göring, who was Prime Minister of Prussia. This was 1933, informing me that he had made me a privy councillor. I was not given the opportunity either to accept or to refuse. After the dreadful events of November 38, the violent attacks against the Jews, I stopped using that title.
Great. Great, you stopped using the title. How about this one? Vice President of the Chamber of Music. You used that title, didn't you? Or I suppose you had no choice in that either. I suppose Joseph just sent you a telegram saying, Dear Mr. Vice President.
No, I don't believe Goebbels sent me a telegram. I was simply told in a letter, I think. I don't remember exactly.
You don't remember exactly. Okay. But hell, Herman and Joseph were sure heaping honors on you. One makes you Prussian Privy Councillor, the other one makes you a Vice President of the Chamber of Music, and you weren't even a member of the party. How do you explain that?
But there was a constant battle between Göring and Goebbels as to which of them would control Nazi culture. People like me and Richard Strauss, we were simply in the middle. We were pawns. Anyway, I resigned from the Chamber of Music at the same time as I resigned as musical director of the Berlin Philharmonic. This was 1934.
And why was that, Dr. Furtwängler? Why did you resign?
They came to power in January of 33. In April, I wrote an open letter to the newspapers.
condemning what they were doing to music, making these distinctions between Jews and non-Jews. For my part, the only divide in art is between good and bad. Great artists are rare, I said, and no country can do without them unless it wishes to damage its cultural heritage irrevocably. I also said that men like Otto Klemperer, Bruno Walter, Max Reinhardt, I may have mentioned others, I don't remember now, must be allowed to serve their art here, in this country.
And that's when you resigned.
No, not then. No, those were the early days. No, the matter came to a head when Goebbels decided to ban Matters to Peter, an opera by Paul Hindemith. They called it Jew-infected Bolshevik music or some such nonsense. Again, I wrote to the newspapers. Again, I criticized him. Goebbels retaliated with a speech in which he denounced me for what he called my disloyalty to the regime. That's when I resigned. I resigned everything. I simply withdrew from public life and started to compose again, which I've always thought was my true vocation. Eventually, after much toing and froing, I was summoned by Goebbels. He said that I could leave the country if I wanted to, but under no condition would I ever be allowed to return. But that would have been a victory for them. I believe you must fight from inside, not from without. He then demanded that I acknowledge Hitler as being solely responsible for cultural policy. Well, that was a fact. He was the sole arbiter. To me, it seemed pointless to deny it. In return, I demanded that I be allowed to stay here and work. But I would not be obliged to accept any official position, nor would I have to perform at state functions. I have always held the view that art and politics should have nothing to do with each other.
Oh, really? Then why did you conduct one of their Nuremberg rallies?
I did not conduct the rally. I conducted them the evening before the rally.
That sounds like one of our fine print in one of our insurance policies.
No. I had nothing to do with the rally.
Okay. How about April 19th, 1942, the eve of Adolf's 53rd birthday, the big night, the big celebration? You conducted for that, didn't you? Was that in keeping with your idea that art and politics should be separated?
Well, that was a different matter.
Well, I'll believe
No,
that.
I was tricked.
How come?
Well, I was in Vienna rehearsing the Ninth Symphony of B.P.O.E with the Vienna Philharmonic. Goebbels called, said I had to conduct at Hitler's birthday. Now, always before, I'd managed to wriggle out of such invitations, pleading previous engagements, illnesses, and so on. I was also fortunate that Paul de Van Schraak, who controlled Vienna then, hated Goebbels, would do anything to thwart his wishes. He'd often helped me in the past, by saying, for example, that he had a prior claim to my services. But on this particular occasion, in 1942, Goebbels got to my doctors before me, and they were frightened off. Van Schraak was bullied and threatened, and he gave in. I had no alternative but to conduct for Hitler's birthday. Believe me, I knew I'd compromised. I deeply regret it.
Von Schirach. Is that the same Baldur von Schirach, the Nazi youth leader who's now sitting in the dock at Nuremberg on trial for his life, charged with crimes against humanity? So that's how you were tricked, huh? It doesn't sound like much of a trick to me.
But to the best of my knowledge, that is what happened. Oh, the trick, you see, was that pressure was brought to bear before I was able to maneuver. The regime knew as well as I that I had not bowed my knee.
Doesn't sound like that to me. Sounds like you made a deal.
I made no deal. My only concern was to preserve the highest musical standards. That I believe to be my mission.
I don't buy that.
Well, it's the truth.
Do you remember a young pianist called Walter Sachs?
No.
Young Jewish pianist.
No.
He was a pupil. What was that teacher's name?
Mira Samuel.
I knew Mira Samuel.
And you don't remember this pupil of hers playing for you in a cellar right here in Berlin?
Oh, well, vaguely. Now, what was his name?
Walter Sachs.
That.
His widow attacked you a minute
No
ago.
one's attacked
Out
me.
in the waiting room.
Oh, well, that woman didn't attack me. She was trying to kiss my hand.
Oh, okay. I guess that's because she was grateful to you. She wanted to thank you. You helped her husband get a permit to get to Paris. How did you do that, Wilhelm?
I don't remember. There were so many.
Yeah, we've heard about all the Jews you helped. I'm just trying to figure out how you went about it. Did you call someone you knew?
I may have, as I say. I simply don't remember.
Well, let me guess. You pick up a phone, you make a call. Hey, Adolf, old pal, this is Wilhelm speaking. Listen, I got this Jew boy pianist, needs to get a permit to get to Paris. Well, that's mighty swell of you, Adolf. Shall I have him pick it up, or will you have it sent round? Well, God bless you, Adolf, and Heil fucking Hitler! Or maybe you call Joseph, or Herman. You see, I think a deal was made. You got real close to the devil and his cohorts. You shook hands with the devil. You got real close to them. You were so close you were in the same shithouse as them. You could wipe their asses for them. Emmy, how the hell can you take notes with your goddamn fingers? Emmy! This is Emmy Straube, Wilhelm. She's a very sensitive girl. So, Wilhelm, how many Jews do you think you helped?
I can't remember. I have no idea.
That many, huh?
I am not going to defend myself by trumpeting numbers. May I ask a question?
Sure.
When will my case be heard before the tribunal?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I recently visited your colleagues in Wiesbaden, the American occupation authorities, those charged with aiding in my defense. They were extremely polite.
This isn't Wiesbaden, and I'm not here to defend you.
I need to work. I need to make my living. I have been living off the generosity of friends.
Tough, but these things take time.
Then why is it, please, that another conductor who actually was a member of the party, I believe he joined twice. Why has he already been cleared and is working again? Well, I must wait and wait and wait.
Don't know who he is. He's not my case.
Why is it, please, that I have on good authority learned that certain high-ranking Nazi scientists are, as we speak, being transported to the United States to work on missiles and rocket fuels?
That's what we call the spoils of war, Wilhelm. Different rules for different professions. So, Wilhelm, why did you escape to Switzerland in January of last year?
What?
Why did you escape to Switzerland last year?
Oh, because I learned the Gestapo were about to arrest me.
And why were the Gestapo going to arrest you?
I can't be absolutely sure, but I believe it was because of another letter I had written, lamenting the decline of musical standards due to racial policies.
Oh, okay, you weren't complaining about the racial policies, just the decline in musical standards, am I right? So, Wilhelm, how did you find out the Gestapo were out to get you?
Well, it was during an enforced hour-long interval due to a power failure at a concert at the Bluchner Hall here in Berlin. Albert Speer, Minister of Armaments, said to me casually, "You look very tired, Maestro. You should go abroad for a while." I understood exactly what that meant.
Is that the same Albert Speer who's now sitting in the dock at Nuremberg with your old pal Balder, also charged with crimes against humanity? You sure knew a lot of people in high places.
It would be true to say a lot of people in high places knew me.
Don't get smart with me, Wilhelm. Because your friends just seem to be a bunch of criminal shitheads. And I know, and you know, that you were real close to all of them. To Adolf, and Joseph, and Herman, and Balder, and now Albert. Write a nasty letter, make a call, the Jew is saved, write a nasty letter, Albert says get out of town. So let's hear the truth, Wilhelm. Let's come clean. What was your party number?
If you are going to bully me like this, Major, you had better do your homework. You obviously have no idea how stupid and impertinent your remarks are.
You remember, David, I said I had a question he'd find it impossible to answer? I'm going to ask it now. You ready for this, Wilhelm? Take your time. This is a tough one. Why didn't you get out right at the start in 1933 when Adolf came to power? I've got a list of names here. People in your line of work who got out. Otto Klemperer, Bruno Walter.
Well, they were Jews. They had to leave. They were right to leave. I love my country and my people. That is a matter of body and soul. I could not leave my country in her deepest misery. To have left in 1933 or 34 would have been shameful. I remained to give comfort, to see to it that the glorious musical tradition of which I believe I am one of the guardians remained intact, was unbroken when we woke from this nightmare. I remained because I believe my place was with my people.
See, David? I told you he couldn't answer the question. I'm going to ask it again, Wilhelm, and this time don't give me any airy-fairy bullshit.
I have already told you my reasons, Major. I only hope you're going to be as hard on the other artists who remained in their countries. Shostakovich, Prokofiev, Eisenstein, especially Eisenstein, with his films glorifying tyranny. But then you, Major, could accuse them all of glorifying tyranny.
Don't know who they are. They're not in my files.
No, they're Russians.
Russians? Yeah, Russians.
Major Arnold's office? Yes. Major Richards for Lieutenant Wills.
Wills? Yes. Do you want me to tell him? Yep. Major Richards wants a word.
Arnold here.
Well, I've had enough of this. I am leaving.
I strongly advise against that. Dr. Furtwängler. In 1932, when I was 10, my father, he was a publisher. He allowed me to accompany him on a business trip to Berlin. On the second evening of our visit, he took me to the Philharmonic. I can't remember the entire program, but I do know that you conducted both Beethoven's Egmont Overture and the Fifth Symphony. I believe the program ended with the Overture to Tannhauser. You opened a new world to me. More than a world, like waking from sleep. A child of 10 waking into a new world. You showed me a place where there was an absence of misery. Ever since I first heard you, music has been central to my life. My chief comfort. And I've needed comfort. I thank you for that.
I too. The same. Thank you.
Fräulein,
Straube.
wann haben Sie mich zum ersten Mal als Delegate erlebt?
In Berlin, 1943.
Wann?
I got to hand it to the British, David. You know what those guys are? Decent. Wilhelm, do you know Hans Hinkel?
Do I know Hans Hinkel?
Why does everybody repeat my questions?
Do I know Hans Hinkel?
See, there he goes again.
Yes, I know him. A despicable human being. Ask Bruno Walter. It was Hinkel who personally drove him out. Do you know what his job was at the Ministry of Culture? To get rid of the Jews and the arts. And since the most talented artists were inevitably Jewish, he was seldom idle. I could detail his persecution of my former secretary, Berta Geismar, herself a Jewess, But I will not bore you, Major, with a chronicle of cruelty, meanness, and mendacity.
Yep, sounds like the same guy. You know what else this little creep did? He kept files, close on to 250,000 of them. And do you know what's in these files?
How should I know what's in his files?
Oh boy, you are gonna love this. Those files contain, wait for this, the names of every artist working in this country for, guess who? That's right, Wilhelm, your old pals, Adolf and Joseph and Herman. Those files are gonna tell us when all of you joined, who was loyal and helpful, and what's more, they are full of love letters to your aforementioned pals, swearing everlasting loyalty. Isn't that something? A file on every one of you. Some guy, that Hinkle.
I should like to leave now.
Yeah, I'll bet you would. So why don't you? See, we got a lot of work ahead of us sorting through those files. It's gonna take some time, I guess. So get out. We'll let you know when we want to see you again. Oh boy, we got it! You see how the minute I mentioned Hinkle, he wanted to leave? Emmy, get David a list of the witnesses. And then here's what I want you to do, and then go get us some more coffee. David, this is what I want you to do. These files are pretty much verbatims of my interviews with these guys. We're going to compare the information the shitheads gave with the information in Hinkle's file. Oh my God, this is an Aladdin's cave. When you think that the Russians had this in their hands the whole time until the city was divided and they had no idea what it was, you know what they're going to be doing next? Shitting razor blades. Hey, turn that thing down. I can't hear myself think. David, turn that.